As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the week?
I'm going with Zach Collier. Zach Collier was scheduled to sing the national anthem at the Baseball World Series. That has been now denied by officials there after he flashed the horns down during the Women's College World Series, Longhorns, Cowboys game. No longer has the invitation to come sing the national anthem. Well, why is he the winner? Well, singing the national anthem for money, I can't imagine it's a super lucrative deal whenever you can get, all kinds of local talent to probably do it for free. But it's a way to get a little bit of notoriety for yourself. He's going to get more notoriety out of this deal, not singing it, than any national anthem he's ever sang before. And, someone flashing the horns down during a moment like that, they get my respect.
I had a feeling that had a lot to do with it because I know I saw the story and I was like, love that guy. Love this guy. Love this guy. Now, if you're a Texas fan, I could understand maybe. And I wonder if part of me wonders if this happens if Texas wasn't in it, right? But Texas is in it, right? They made it.
Yeah. It's Texas calling and complaining again, like they always do. Hey, Josie, open invitation to this guy to sing the national anthem at all OU events whenever we're hosting the Longhorns. That's what I say we do.
I think we should have this guy sing the national anthem for the opener.
Right? I agree. I'm down with that.
UTEP in town. Let's get the horns down. National anthem guy. Like, let's just keep this thing rolling.
Now, he is an A&M fan.
Oh.
So that does change things a bit.
Just a little bit. I mean, it changes them a lot of bit. I mean, come on, man.
I know.
But still, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Is that the saying?
I think so. Yeah.
Is that right? I think that sounds wrong.
The enemy of my enemy is my enemy. I remember saying that, but I think people have always changed it and put their own spin on it. So I don't know what the original is.
Listen, I like the guy more for throwing the horns down, even if he is an A&M guy. There we go. How about that?
No doubt. I love it. I thought it was great. And like I said, more notoriety out of this than any national anthem he's ever sang, unless he just totally screws it up.
Yeah, and it'll make him a legend forever. I mean, people will always love telling that story.
Aggie legend.
Gross. All right, who do you have as your loser of the week?
I had to go with Miami. All of the NIL talk, all of the stuff about A&M and USC and all these schools tampering and perhaps offering deals beforehand, inducements to come play. And Miami's the first one that the NCAA goes and has an official sit down. Now, you can't say that it's necessarily an investigation. When Miami was asked about it, they said that, per NCAA rules, and in order to maintain the integrity of the review, the university cannot comment on specifics of the matter. But they went to Miami. John Ruiz, the local billionaire who's been dumping a bunch of money in, had him come in to sit down and have a discussion with a couple of NCAA representatives. It's interesting that Miami's the first place we hear of it.
It makes a lot of sense, right? Because remember, the Nigel Pack thing is what kind of has set this whole massive discussion about NIL off, with him going from Kansas State to Miami and Ruiz putting the dollar figure out there, like, for everyone to know. I imagine that John Ruiz does not give two shits what the NCAA thinks.
I know he doesn't.
And I know that I've been trying to follow. I mean, he took one of his companies public, and I think that the stock has tanked. I don't know what that means for his personal wealth. I can't imagine it's anything good, but he doesn't seem to have many concerns. And I read that Ross Dellinger article there at SI, and his quote says, "I have nothing to hide." Like, he's like, okay, come on, I love this. This is kind of what we knew was coming, though, right? So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of this. I don't think any of these big money people are going to be scared of the NCAA. Now, you don't want to hurt your school, right? That's obvious. But I don't think Jon Ruiz is losing any sleep tonight. Like, his lawyers are like, all right, let's do this.
Here's the thing, though. And this is why I thought it was a bit frustrating for me, because he's a legitimate business owner, right? And under the rules, like, he can sign guys to endorsement deals to his business. I mean, that's legitimate. The collective thing, to me, is like, that's the part of the NIL rule that is not the spirit of what this thing was intended to be. Like, this is basically a collection of money. Let's find a collection of money, pay these guys, and find something for them to do. A little bit different than signing someone to an endorsement deal, but I don't know. We'll see if something comes of it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first,
First Fidelity Bank is a full-service financial institution based in Oklahoma with tailored solutions for all your personal and business needs. Checking accounts, saving accounts, home loans, and much more. They do it all, whether it's online banking from your computer or mobile banking from your phone. Everything is stress-free with FFB. Making mobile deposits, paying bills online, and moving money to different accounts could not be easier. First Fidelity Bank provides free ATMs worldwide, making banking convenient wherever you are. They also give back to the community. FFB donates a total of more than $500,000 to local charities and educational foundations. Make your life easier and go bank with First Fidelity Bank. Visit ffb.com for more information.
And if you are a whiskey or bourbon drinker, stop what you're doing. Head to your favorite liquor store and buy some Balcones products. You got to grab some of Balcones Lineage Single Malt Whiskey. It was just voted one of the top 20 whiskeys in the world by Whiskey Advocate, and you'll be shocked by how affordable it is. Also, you got to snag some of Balcones Baby Blue Corn Whiskey.
It's made from blue corn. That's the fancy corn.
And that is why it has won more than 25 awards. Last but certainly not least, you got to buy some of Balcones Pot Still Bourbon. Its big flavors make it the perfect bourbon to drink year-round. In fact, I drank some in Hawaii last night.
Ooh.
Year-round, tropical environment, and it went down real good, Ted. It went down real good. Balcones Single Malt, back in 2012, people. It won the Best in Glass competition, beating brands like Johnny Walker. Beating brands? Did I say Browns? Beating brands like Johnny Walker and Macallan. It became the first American distillery to win the competition. This stuff is the real deal, people. If you love great whiskey and bourbon at a great price, then Balcones products are the only way to go. The whiskey may be made in Texas, but the owners, yes, they're from Oklahoma. To find a liquor store that has it, visit balconesdistilling.com. All right, for my winner of the week, thought about going with the NHL, man. Stanley Cup Finals, awesome. Game 1 going on right now as we record this. The Colorado Avalanche have a 2-0 lead over the Tampa Bay Lightning, but oh, wow. Tampa Bay just scored 2-1. How about that in the first?
There you go.
So, but the Stanley Cup Final is those games, the drama, like the tension, it's awesome. I love watching playoff hockey, but the Avalanche are red hot, scoring all kinds of goals. Lightning, they've been kind of the comeback kings in these playoffs, going for a three-peat, which doesn't happen very often in professional sports anymore. And it should be awesome. I love the drama. Sign me up. Best trophy in sports. Can't wait.
I love it. The Avalanche is really cool. It's kind of a throwback for me with the Avalanche. It's when I first started following hockey. Patrick Waugh, Adam Foote.
You mean Patrick Roy?
This is awesome. And I'm with you. Playoff hockey is really cool. I wish we had a team locally to where I could follow it closer because as much stuff is going on, it's hard to add NHL to the mix also.
Yes, I agree. And this is one thing you'll love. And I read this, The Athletic does this like newsletter that I read this morning. And a guy named Pat Maroon for the Lightning, he's from St. Louis, and Stan Kroenke, so the Kroenkes own the Avalanche, right? Same team, same people that own the Rams. And he was like, I can't stand Stan Kroenke because they moved the Rams from St. Louis to LA. I loved it. I was like, that's just looking for any angle to be angry heading into the series. So it should be fun. If you haven't watched playoff hockey, if you haven't watched the Stanley Cup Final before, do it. You're not going to regret it. But my winner of the week, and I'm hoping this is the start of good news for Baker Mayfield, because several reports out there, trade talks between the Browns and Panthers are back on and ongoing. Main issue clearly is still how much of Baker's salary will be paid by the Browns. But, Ted, it is encouraging that the talks have renewed. Please free Baker Mayfield, Cleveland. Let the man leave. Do it. Pay the chunk of the salary that the Panthers want you to pay. Just do it. Let him move on. That would be nice. Please.
What do you think the play is for Carolina here?
They don't believe in Sam Darnold, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah.
I feel like and I know they drafted Matt Corral, but who cares? Right? Like, this is what do you think? Because if you're Matt Rule, like, his job's on the line this season, probably. So that's something he wants to upgrade at the quarterback position. Remember, they hired Ben McAdoo as the offensive coordinator there in Carolina. You talk about a guy who probably has a chip on his shoulder after the way things went for him when he was the head coach there in New York for the Giants. I think they're just trying to make an upgrade at the quarterback position so they can keep their jobs.
Yeah. Here's what I think it is. I think they like Matt Corral. What they've seen from him, they really like him. Think he's the future. But it may be difficult to, he's a guy that's been injured. The way he plays, it could be hard to coach that out of him early. You need a bit of an insurance policy there, and you can cut Sam Darnold, keep Baker. You're going to get him. I don't know how much Cleveland's going to pick up of his guarantee, but it's going to be a lot. And you're only going to have him on a 1-year deal. And you can have a pretty cheap quarterback room and just have Baker for 1 year as an insurance policy. And maybe even he starts off as your starter, and we've seen how it goes. You wait for the young guy to really settle in before you start to hand over the torch. That's what I think. I guess there's also the chance that they see the potential for a long-term investment also, which, that's how Baker's going to approach it, as a tryout for that.
And it's not like they picked Corral in the first round.
Right.
And they drafted him in the third.
Yeah.
It's like the 94th pick or something like that. So if he doesn't end up being your franchise guy, then so be it. Like, if you get Baker and he ends up being everything you want him to be, and he's steady and reliable, it's like, all right, Matt Corral, backup quarterback as a 3rd-round pick. If he ends up being a good backup, like, sometimes it happens. So
didn't Darnold didn't he sign another deal? Does he have several years on his?
He doesn't have, I'd have to look up his contract, but he's not locked in for like multiple years at a big number or anything like that.
Okay.
Like, I don't think, because I feel like we would remember, because we both would have been like, why would they do that? I mean, I'm sure he's making solid money, but I don't think it's not like he's probably making somewhere.
It's probably about the same as Baker, right? They're drafted the same year.
Yeah, he's not making like 40. He's definitely under 20.
He's got the same exact. He's due 18.8.
Yeah, and if you're the Panthers, right? If you think about, hey, you're paying Baker, let's say that Cleveland picks up half, right? So, or let's just call it that, say Cleveland plays 10 of his 19. Well, then you're still only paying Darnold and Baker, 27, $28 million. You compare that to what some of these other guys are making, like, it is what it is. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
It is interesting though, because you really can't cut Darnold because that 18 million is just like Baker's fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
But
I think you bring him in,
getting a 2-for-1.
Yeah. Let him battle it out.
On how much you get Cleveland to pick up.
No, I completely agree. All right. But my loser of the week, thought about going with Miles Mikolas. No hitter through 8 2/3 inning against the Pirates the other night. 2 strikes on Cal Mitchell. Gives up a double to center field, and it goes right over the center fielder's glove. It was close, Ted, but and this is the read. Like, I respect the hell out of him. He threw like 129 pitches. He wanted it. He went and tried to get it. None of this, oh, take me out, save my arm. No. Mikolas wanted the no-hitter. Gives up the hit on the 2 strikes. Bottom of the ninth, 2 strikes. Game over. And gives up a hit with 2 strikes. Just brutal.
How about Cal Mitchell not yielding anything?
Respect that as well. I respect that. But my loser of the week, man, and I'm really not sure if they're winners or losers. I think they're both, but just golf, right? Because we got all kinds of stuff going on right now. You got NBA Finals. You got Stanley Cup Final. You got Major League Baseball, right? Season's rolling. I mean, there's soccer. There's everything except for football is going on, it feels like. And golf is getting a ton of coverage. And it's not necessarily about the U.S. Open at the country club there outside of Boston. And, normally maybe we'd be talking about how that course is one of the oldest courses in the country. And we'd be talking about the betting lines, right? With Rory maybe overtaking Scheffler as the favorite in some books, like stuff like that, Rahm, all this stuff. But instead, we're talking about LIV Golf versus the PGA Tour. And personally, I am enjoying the hell out of it. Like, Rory McIlroy throwing shade at all those guys. Like, I love it. Did you see Jon Rahm's speech? It was like 2 minutes.
No, I saw some of the notes from it.
First of all, I had one encounter with Jon Rahm. Guy was awesome. I will always be a Jon Rahm fan because of
did you take your drive over into his fairway, or did he? Was that what happened?
Listen, my drive was a little right off the tee. Okay, pal. Okay. No,
hey,
but
I've done that a billion times, so I'm not saying it.
I will say, just from that encounter, like Jon Rahm, was a nice guy to me for a couple minutes, and I was just like, oh, I like that guy. I root for him. But hearing him talk about how important like the tradition of golf is, and competing against the best is, and how he straight up was like, hey, 54 holes with no cut, that's not a golf tournament to me. That's not. He's like, that's not it. And he also said that having $400 million wouldn't change his lifestyle at all, which I was like, wait, hold on. What a second. Did they offer you $400 million? Is what?
Well, he probably has 100 million. I mean, yeah. I think he's probably right.
Yeah.
But if he's like a Taylor Gooch or someone who has struggled to have traction on the PGA Tour and nothing is ever guaranteed, that'd probably be a different answer.
Yeah. And but I liked hearing what he had to say. And it's not, I don't think any of these guys are like mad at the LIV Golf guys, maybe a little disappointed, but I do think people that really love watching golf and love certainly the majors, that they're a little disappointed that the LIV Golf versus the PGA Tour and those guys like Dustin Johnson and Phil Mickelson and those guys that are playing, in the US Open, like that's overshadowing the event, right? I think that's annoying a lot of people.
Yeah, I get that.
Give me
I
the
think
drama, Ted.
it's overshadowing the event though because of the PGA.
Yeah.
You know, they're the ones that have made the big fuss over it. And I get, like, Rory and Jon Rahm, they really they got beef with the wrong people. Like, I guess like Dustin Johnson and DeChambeau, okay, fine, but most of the other guys, they're not going to win majors, right? They're scraping by for the most part. Those guys don't have the massive endorsement money. It's not. It's kind of like whenever I tell people that I played in the NFL, they're shocked that I'm not as rich as Peyton Manning. Not everyone on the PGA Tour makes as much money as those guys. It's a different decision for most of the guys that are playing on that tour than it would be for Rory McIlroy, right? For Rory, you've got opportunity to compete. You make millions upon millions of dollars. Same with Jon Rahm. Like, most of the other guys, they're not in that position anymore. If they were in the position of Jon Rahm and Rory McIlroy, they wouldn't be playing in that tour either. They'd be playing in the PGA. So that's where I think things kind of get a little bit crossways. But at the end of the day, I think you're right. Anytime people are talking about golf, it's going to be a good thing, especially when Tiger Woods is, not competing, every major to win the thing on Sunday. They need something to get some attention.
Yeah.
I bet they'll have some of the better ratings that they've had recently.
Yeah. I think people are just going to want to see, like, for one, I'm just going to want to enjoy the awkwardness of it.
Yeah.
And who knows? We all saw what the PGA, did when it came to suspending those guys that went and played. Is this the last major that some of those guys are going to be able to play in? Like, that decision, I assume it's coming quickly.
What if one of them wins it?
If
that's the
it'd be incredible,
result, isn't it? It's a perfect result.
It'd be amazing. And I would love to see Rory McIlroy's press conference after the fact if Dustin Johnson goes and wins the U.S. Open.
I hope Dustin Johnson beats Rory in a Monday playoff.
That would be
full round.
Could you imagine?
Awkward the entire 18.
I think best case scenario, worst case scenario, depending on how you want to look at it, DeChambeau somehow figuring out how to win would be, oh my gosh. Or Patrick Reed. Oh.
Yeah, final two pairings, Rory with DeChambeau and Dustin Johnson with Jon Rahm.
Did you see the news about Jordan Spieth?
I did not.
He left the practice area with saying he didn't feel good.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah, I knew I'd see that look on your face because your favorite thing is rooting against him. What happens if you don't even get him because he's sick, Ted?
I don't want that. I don't want him to not play. I want him to play and play horribly. I hope he's okay.
That is. I love you. All right. I love you.